Welcome to the Great White Brotherhood YouTube channel.
Hello, everyone. Back again with another shorter video this time. Um, I thought I saw this lesson the other day when I was um, messaging back and forth with the person who does the French translations, and I realized that this is a really good lesson, actually, I think for everybody to consider. Um, we can all, every one of us can take this into our daily lives and put it into practice. And it's obviously not hard to do, as you can tell by the title, When in Doubt, Do Nothing. I don't know. Well, in some cases, it's very difficult to do nothing, but I think in general, in most people's cases, it's pretty easy to do nothing. So, and then the other part of this I want to talk about is a dream I had a little while ago. I'm going to leave it to the end and talk about it. Um, and you know, just basically wanted to put it on the record here and see if maybe something comes out of it or not. We'll just see. It's best to put it, at least get it time stamped and not on a recording. So just in case anything happens, we can go back and take a look at it and see if there was anything to it. All right. So thanks again for all the kind words on the long Q&A video. Um, I'm glad that some people are getting some stuff out of it, and thank you very much to Raziel for doing the timestamp on that. And I think that'll obviously help out a lot more people. That'll help out people a lot more, is what I meant to say, for looking for stuff that's interesting to them instead of sitting through the whole thing. All right. So, as I already mentioned, this video is called this lesson is called When in Doubt, Do Nothing. And this was actually a conversation between Bob and I via email some time ago. So, my message to Bob: Hi, Bob. I have a bit of a dilemma that I would like some guidance on. I have been thinking about this a lot lately, and I just want to make sure that I am making the right decision. And this is across the board, okay? I can't think of any problem unless there was something like, somebody's pointing a gun at your head. You couldn't apply this to just about any situation. So what I'm saying now here is insert your problem here, whatever it is. This could be any problem, literally any problem, because the answer will be the same. As you will see from the replies from Bob and from my own experiences now, after many years since this message, the answer given by Bob and the Great White Brotherhood is true. So, from Bob, the answer is easy. When in doubt, do nothing. When it is the moment, things will fall into place on their own, and you will just need to follow along as things unfold. So, for the moment, do nothing, say nothing. You will find that when the moment is right, everything will have sorted itself out. So, I repeat, for the moment, do not do or say anything, no decision. Let your higher self do it all, not your brain, okay? That's the most important part, other than do nothing. Or, yeah, do nothing as in you might have to do a little something, maybe just kind of push something into action, but for the most part, don't jump all over it and panic and freak out and worry about it and try and do all kinds of things. Let your higher self do it all. That includes your guides, not your brain, meaning it goes back to the concept of you can't solve a problem from the same level as the problem, right? You have to solve the problem from a higher level. So my response, thanks, Bob. I do appreciate that. That is what I have been doing so far, not saying anything and not doing anything about it. Honestly, I don't remember what the problem was at the time. Bob's reply. Remember, remember, don't become involved with judging, nor with worrying about the past or the future. Your higher self has already sorted everything out. So all you need to be is a spectator watching life unfold. And it amazingly does. It's crazy. Be confident that your higher self knows what you want and need, and it will all help happen as it should, when it should. Not talking about time. It's not like the problem's going to get solved in 30 minutes. It's all based on sequence of events, how things unfold, as he mentioned just earlier about being a spectator and watching life unfold. It's all about how the sequence of events unfolds. It might be that whatever your problem is, something else has to happen before your particular problem gets solved. And there's no time on it because it might be very complicated what has to happen first. So just remain calm and watch as if you were watching a film on TV. That is what I do, and it always works, and it does. It's called faith. Now, the only caveat would be here is that perhaps if there's something in your life plan that you must go through, it may be delayed. You may be successful at least kicking that can down the road, shoving it off a little bit, but it's going to come back. It's your life plan. You can't avoid it. Well, maybe you can, but you'll regret that you avoided it later on. My higher self is God, and God knows how my life should unfold. So I never worry about anything. That is coming from the brain, not the higher self. Let your higher self do its job, and it will sort your life out. Your higher self has already sorted your future out. Isn't that something? Your higher self has already sorted your future out. So just let the film unroll and you will see the happy ending. My response. Yes, I remember. I guess that is why I was stopping myself from going any further, worrying about how it might happen or what could go wrong. But I know that I need to let it go and not let it bother me. My ego comes to the very forefront, and that is my problem, not anybody else's. Okay? That's also a very key point. My ego comes to the forefront, and that's my problem, not anybody else's. Thanks for reminding me. This will be a true test for me to have full faith that all will work out and I will be better off. And I am. I, thinking about back to any of the problems I had, they work themselves out. They do. They don't work themselves out very well when we, and the brain, this avatar, interjects and creates more problems. Part of it is that we're the avatar. You want the person controlling the game, the sim game. You want the higher self that actually has the gamepad controller controlling things, not the character in the game trying to control things. So have full faith that all will work out and I will be better off. I do believe it all to be true. And that's another part. You have to actually have faith and believe. Believing without seeing, right? Believing without seeing. Not seeing is believing. Believing is seeing. Now, I do believe it all to be true. Now, I need to put my money where my mouth is, as the saying goes. And lastly, from Bob, please be reassured that I know what I'm talking about. And he did. Not only through my life's personal experiences, but from what I have been advised by the Great White Brotherhood whenever I discussed a problem with them. They have always said, don't worry and don't try to resolve problems. God knows of your problems, and God, higher self, wants the best for you. So have faith that life will sort itself out and will resolve any problem. I have found this to be true. To be honest, if I have a problem, I say to God something that Oliver Hardy used to say, Stan, paraphrased. This goes back a long time ago. Here's another fine mess, God, sort it out for me. And I sit back and watch the solution appear, and it always does. That's 100% true, okay? I know it's always difficult. And I'm not saying that every problem that I'm faced with still, even today, I don't at first want to jump into action and, face plant and go, oh, not again, and get into it. It does take that wisdom, if you will, and I'm not saying I'm very wise, but it does take the wisdom from the knowledge and experience of the past to know that the problem will get resolved. There's no reason to panic and jump into action, unless you're trying to save somebody from drowning or something. Okay. Excuse me. So hopefully you liked that message. I think it's timely as all at any point in time. And I think it can help anybody. So, not only prayer and meditation and service to God kind of, knowledge and advice. This is something that can, and the techniques to rise above chaos. This is something that anybody, anywhere can apply to their life and it'll work. And then the more you apply it, the more you can look back and realize that um, it did work. Okay. So that's the end of that. Now, to get into this dream I had. So I'm not saying this is a prophetic dream or anything like that, or I'm the next, what is it? What is the name? Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet. Um, I had this rather very realistic, I guess you could call it sort of lucid. I can't remember if it felt lucid or not. If I think about it now, it probably did. But regardless of any of that, it just kind of it was one of these completely out of the blue, and those are the only dreams that I really pay attention to, ones that come right out of the blue. Obviously, if I'm pondering something and I have a dream about it, it's probably me just, my dream just helping me to try and work out something that I'm thinking about. Could be personal or it could be, stuff I'm researching. If it's stuff I'm researching, again, answer, well, who knows? That could be coming from either guides or my higher self. But this one had nothing to do with anything. Um, I was just suddenly, I was kind of at a place where I would say it was my home, but it wasn't where I live now or any house that I lived in. And I was there and it was seemed like for me it was a long time ago, like when my kids were little and I was at this place and there was stuff going on, just normal life, right? Nothing strange about it. And from that point, other than just normal daily life going on at this house or home, I'll call it, even though it was nothing to do with me that I ever experienced. Um, from that point, I found myself somewhere else and I was just out kind of like you would do on a normal day, out and looking at stuff and exploring, I guess you could call it, or it was going somewhere or went somewhere. And again, I was somewhere I'd never been and never even would go to be honest with you. Maybe when I was younger, but it was a place where, um, and I was there by myself and I was kind of like following another person or some other people into this place and but I what I could see is that there was also what was where we were going to was a place where kind of either there was like it was either bicycles or motorbikes. There's those tracks where there's the hills and they're like jumping and doing stuff, and it's a track they were going around. And all I could see was just people jumping up and down on their bikes. I was like, okay, that's cool. And then all of a sudden, the power went out, or at least that's what I perceived was like outage, no power, nothing, and everybody realized it. And all of a sudden, and it was just like that instant, no warning, no nothing, power gone out. And I thought, okay. And I wasn't panicking, but there was a few people that looked pretty concerned. And everybody was kind of like on the lookout for someone or something was, maybe like looters or whatever. There was something that people were worried about. Then next, I found myself back in this home, same home, but there was other people in there. not just me and my family, but there was others in there. And we were realizing that the power was out everywhere. So it wasn't just a local power outage, right? Just like in your community or your block or your subdivision or your whatever you want to call it, right? This was everywhere, but I don't know if it was like the world. It sort of felt to me like it was at least, I'm in Canada, and it felt like it was at least most of or all of Canada, United States, kind of like that sort of thing. How far it went, I don't know. And I can't even tell you for sure it was all of Canada and all of the United States. It was a huge power outage. It was gone. And then what I would say was the most important thing, because power goes out lots of times, all the time, many times. The most important thing was that the understanding from not only I had, but from everybody was the power was not coming back on anytime soon. I don't know if it was days, weeks, months, I don't know. That was just kind of how it ended, other than, again, we were back in what I would call my home, which was not my home, but whatever. It was my home. And everybody, there was a whole bunch of other people in there, maybe neighbors or whatever, right? And again, we were all concerned. I didn't feel it was necessarily I felt all that concerned, but there was a concern about uh, looters and thieves and people causing chaos and riots and stuff. And then again, kind of went to like power's not coming back on anytime soon. It's kind of like I don't know if how many people of you, depending on your age or where you're located, if you remember the big power outage that happened in the Northeast United States and the East. I'm not sure how far it went in Canada, but it was definitely in Ontario, maybe part of Quebec. There was a huge power outage. I can't remember the year. It was quite a long time ago. My kids were just little. I remember that. Maybe that's why I had that kind of something like that's going to happen again, and it kind of brought me back to that point in time. But I wasn't at home. I was on vacation actually back then working. I was out I was at a cottage up in northern Ontario, and the power went out, and I had no idea the power went out because I was outside, and suddenly I just realized, oh, the music, the radio stopped playing. And then I went up and realized that the power had went out. This wasn't long after the 9/11. So yeah, we were still on edge about the whole 9/11 terrorist attack inside job. But yeah, that's actually now that I think about it, there's kind of a very similar thing, feeling like it didn't seem like the power is going to come back on anytime soon. Now, because of where we were pretty close to the Quebec border in Ontario. We weren't very far. So we ended up getting power back on that came from Quebec. But I know like Toronto and maybe some places in the States, their power didn't come back on for days, days and days. It was a huge thing. So if you remember that, that's sort of what I'm thinking about. But there wasn't a lot of looter, stealing. Not a lot of looters going on. There was not a lot of stealing and chaos that I remember from that event. But in this one, a lot of people were worried about that. So anyway, just wanted to get that on here. Maybe consider, a warning. I don't know. I don't want to, again, I don't want to say it's anything prophetic or anything, but it was just one of those out of the blue dreams that I pay attention to because I've had those before, sometimes in meditation where it's like, when I'm in the meditation, I'm fully in it and totally focused on what's going on. And then as whatever it was that I was experiencing in meditation was happening, and I kind of come out of it, being totally absorbed by whatever it was, paying attention to it. Then it sort of ends and I come out and I go, why was I having those thoughts? Like those are not my thoughts. This is the same sort of thing. Like this dream is like, why did I have that dream? That doesn't make any sense, right? So that's it. We'll leave it there and we'll see what happens. Again, I had that dream on July 24th. Okay, and today is August 6th. So it wasn't that long ago. And of course, when I have these dreams at first, I just kind of put in, I have a little dream journal that I keep and only for, dreams that are kind of interesting or in a meditation as well. I'll put, and if I had a meditation that seemed important, I put that down on there. So that was what I did. I woke up that morning and thought, wow, that was pretty strange. And then, I had a real effect from it. Like it really, I felt it, right? So then I wrote it down or typed it down. All right, we'll see what happens. So anyway, hope all of you are well. Please take this lesson and when in doubt, do nothing to heart. Try and apply it to your life and see for yourself that it works. Okay? So hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and I'll see you on the next video.
Thank you for watching this video. Please visit our website at thegreatwhitebrotherhood.org for free books and lessons to help you on your spiritual journey.